Thursday was a great players' day off for the Mets. They walked into the day as the hottest team in baseball again, and they walked out of it in possession of the third and final NL wildcard spot thanks to a tiebreaker with the Braves. So let's talk Mets baseball with Mathias Altman-Kurosaki, fanalist and contributor of Metsmerized online. My bad about that, Mathias. What's going on, my man? You ready to talk some baseball?
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for having me on again, Brandon.
All right, I reached out to you on Twitter. I asked what you want to talk about, and you said, can they keep this streak going against the Reds? What's it going to do? What's it going to take to keep that streak going?
Well, really, they need their bullpen to keep doing what they've been doing during this win streak. They have a .83 ERA over the 7-game win streak, which the bullpen has been the biggest weakness of this team basically the entire season. So if they can keep doing what they've been doing, especially what they did against the Red Sox, that last game, 5 scoreless innings after a short outing from Tyler McGill, that's going to be the key to the victory. I think I said this the other day when talking with some friends, which is the Mets can win the World Series if they can find a way to get the last 3 outs of the game, maybe more so the last 6 outs of the game. And also the starting pitching needs to keep working deep into games. That's really been their strength lately. And it's been so basically the entire second half. And they were much better at situational hitting those last couple of games against the Red Sox. So if they keep doing what they did those last 7 games offensively, especially those middle-of-the-order bats, Jesse Winker has had a great stretch right now. Pete Alonso, we've seen a little bit more of what we expected Pete Alonso to look like this year. And Francisco Lindor just needs to keep being Francisco Lindor. So I think they can keep it going, but like I said, I think the bullpen is probably the most important part.
Bullpen has been balling, and the month of September is all about numbers. What's the magic number of wins they're going to need to lock up a wild card spot, keeping in mind that there's 25 games in September, they've already won 4. So what's that number going to be? I
think from here on out, or for the entire month, it's 17. That would get them to 89 wins. So from here on out, they need 13 more, I think. Really, last year it only took 84. This year, for a while, it looked like it was only going to take 84 to make it in. But now nobody in the National League wildcard scene wants to lose, it seems like. So I think 89, with looking at the respective schedules of the other teams still in the playoff race, Arizona still has to face Houston. They still have 2 series with Milwaukee. They still have to face the Padres that last series of the year. And Atlanta still has 4 with the Dodgers and 3 with Cincinnati. And, of course, those 3 games against the Mets. And the Padres still have to face Seattle, Houston, the Dodgers, and Arizona. So given their schedule, I think the Mets have some softer series, including the series against the Reds, and including the upcoming series against the Blue Jays. I think if they can just go 13-9 from here on out, because they have those tough series against the Phillies, Braves, and Brewers, I think 89 should be enough to snag that final wild card spot. And I'd say, really, I think Atlanta might be the toughest target of these 3 teams. I think, really, they should be taking aim at Arizona.
All right, let's say we're getting down to the last week of the regular season. The Mets' playoff hopes are right there for the taking, and they don't make it to the playoffs. Will you consider this a wasted season? Like, is it playoffs or bust for this franchise this year?
I'm going to say absolutely not. This team was 11 games under 500 on May 29th. And yes, it would be disappointing to miss the playoffs, but to get to even this point, I thought it would have taken a miracle back at the end of May. I remember thinking that they were going to be selling off Pete Alonso, JD Martinez would not be on the team anymore, probably not Luis Severino, probably not Sean Manaea. Then they got hot in June, kept it going in July, and they recovered really well in the second half of August. And remember, 9 days ago, this team was 4 games out of the playoff spot, and now they're tied and technically in a postseason spot. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not like they went big and sold off all their prospects for rentals. So really, I think there really is nothing to be ashamed of, even if they miss the postseason, because they have a lot to be proud of this year.
It's truly been a roller coaster of emotions covering this team. This is what the gray in my beard is for, just from going through the ebbs and flows of the season. Mathias, tell the people they can find you, man. Shout out the platform.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at Mathias_A_K and on Instagram at Mathias_A_K0418.
All right, man. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Thank you, Brandon.